Ian. Welcome to Halloween Daily, where every day's Halloween. Thanks so much for talking to us today.
This is the best. Uh, this is awesome. Nice to meet you.
It's great to meet you, man. I really have enjoyed Teacup. I think horror fans are really going to enjoy this. You're adapting the book Stinger, and you're showrunner on this whole project. What, if you can isolate one thing, was the most exciting aspect about this whole project for you to be able to adapt this book in this format as a series?
I think the most exciting thing for me was the trust. From the beginning of this process, as I'm sure you're well aware, this is a very different kind of adaptation. If you've read the book, you still have no idea what's going to happen in the show. We flipped the whole thing on its head, and we brought it from a very large scale epic to what we call a keyhole epic, which is a large story but told through a very small lens. And the fact that the producers, the studio, the network, eventually the crew, the cast, everyone trusted in that idea and trusted me and trusted the vision and got on board. That was the most amazing thing, that we ended up with a rarity in, at least in my experience in the entertainment industry, something that felt more like a really hardworking summer camp than it did the grind of a production. That's not to say that we didn't work hard. I've never worked harder in my life. But the fact that everyone was kind of the same mind and on board and inspired by the ideas, that was, I pinch myself every day. And every day's Halloween. So, I don't know. I didn't make the connection there at the end, but whatever.
Well, every day is Halloween. Um, Genre influences. Were there conscious inspirations that you wanted to maybe lean into, or maybe tropes of the genre that you wanted to try to avoid? Because I mean, I felt a little bit of John Carpenter's The Thing at certain times there. I felt some Stephen King, obviously, there. And as you mentioned, you're making some changes to the book. You're condensing some of the events and so forth. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Uh, there's definitely a lot of inspirations. Some that I can mention, some I'd rather not because I think they'd be a little spoilery. But all those things you mentioned, The Thing, the Aliens, uh, Stephen King. I grew up reading Stephen King, and I never thought that I would be able to create something in that space and have it be part of the world at large. So again, pinching myself. And I think it's not so much about it's you're standing on the shoulders of giants, but you don't want to repeat what they've done. The things about Stephen King, and you said as you mentioned The Thing, it's horror is about isolation, and that was something that really drew me to Stinger, was the idea that these people are trapped, and because we want them to be on board with these characters, we winnowed down the cast of characters to three main families so that the audience could really relate to these people and feel like these people were characters that they could go on hopefully a very long journey with. Instead of, in the book, as I'm sure you know, it's, there's dozens of characters, and you're not, I feel like, especially in long form narrative like television, you need some people that can be your avatars, your favorites. And if you have a large cast, it becomes a little more difficult to really zero in on their emotions and go on that journey with them, I find.
And obviously, the show is going to be rolling out during the most wonderful time of year, the month of October. Do you celebrate Halloween
Thanksgiving, yes, I
yourself?
love it. What?
Do you celebrate Halloween? And what's the holiday like at your house?
We shut off the lights and we ignore the doorbell, and we put out raisins and fruits that kids don't like. No, we I really like Los Angeles does Halloween better than anyone else, and it's in our household. It's about going on dog walks in the morning and seeing everyone's decorations, because they go above and beyond. Um, and then, you go to a party or two, and we do, the kids come up and you have the candy and stuff, but it's really about seeing what people do, who's being inventive and who's really going the extra mile.
And a lot of people do go that extra mile today more than ever, and it is
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah, yeah.
And you're right, we were out there last year, and yeah, LA does it like nobody else. Well, again, I love the show, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. I know you're super busy. I think horror fans, are definitely going to enjoy this series. And of course, we got to wish you a very happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you, sir.